What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name is Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellanea. It's Tuesday, and it's April Fool's Day. I just got here just in time. Had to replace the arm on my tripod. That's no joke, because the one that I had was a whole year old, and it decided it didn't like me anymore. So there we have it. What's up, Wendy? What's up, Wallflower? Let me go over my tools real quick before I get too far in. I'm using my pen from Diamond Pen Pal. This is the Ajacai pen from Mary Morales, and it has beautiful hydrangeas on one side. In my multi-placer, I am using Putty Crocker's Pumpkin Patchouli. Why? Because I like the smell of it. I like the stink of it. You know what I mean? I also have a couple of pens here. Wow, just flipped my ghost at myself. I have a couple of pens here that are, one is from Flawa Designs. I use this for straightening tool. And then this one from Peachy Keen Pens. It's a beauty and it rattles. What's up, Brenda? It is loaded up with Ghost in the multi-placer and in the single placer. Ghost you can find over at Diamond Painting Daily on Etsy, and it's like a glue dot. It starts out white and then goes clear when it dries. It's a liquid that goes solid. And then, oh, I got my chapstick. You got to have chapstick around, you guys. It's important stuff. And then this is actually a beautiful trinket tray from Flawa Designs. This is the Simba size tray. I love it because it has these rubber stoppers on the bottom. It's not going to slide around. Look at the fish, little fishies. It fits the canvas I'm working on too, because this one is a beauty. I'll get into that in a second. I am using a tray from Firefly. It's my favorite. It's the Switch Mini Max. Went back to my old standard, right? This one has a removable lid and a removable trash tray, which I usually do. I put that over there. I found a drill on the ground or on the table, and it has an open and close pour spout with a little hole in the top that you can put your pen in so your pen does not roll away on you, which is very handy. All right, and then the diamond painting that I am working on today is in honor of us starting our fantasy diamond paint along on the Discord, along with it still being the Jaded Jamboree. I am working on, ooh, not wrong page. Let me find my page here. There we go. Ruby Reef Siren from Jaded Gem Shop. I'm right about here-ish, like right in there. And this one is by Little Alfred. I'm very excited about it. I love the jellyfishes. Look at the jellyfishes. And that is what I will be working on today. I've actually got, I'm on my third row, but my rows are only 3 centimeters tall. So I'm doing like a 3x4 square instead of a 4x4. When you're working with like confetti, this one is not hand rendered, so it's got a lot of confetti. I like to make my squares a little bit smaller. Could you also put a small lotion into your tray? Yeah, I think so. Hold on. Let me grab one and I'll tell you. The one that I like to use is from Crabtree and Evelyn. It's the avocado. You know what? I'll put some lotion on right now too because my hands is dry. I think it would fit in there. I mean, I have 2 pens. I'm waiting because somebody is supposed to be making me a pen ladder. But yeah, it seems to fit everything in there. Put my stuff. Yeah. Once I have the pen ladder, it will make a big difference. Faye is working on a pen ladder for me. So I'm thinking once I have that and I can take some other things out of the bowl, I think everything fits in here pretty good. Along with, I don't have the cap on it right now, but my murder tweezers would have a cap on there. Well, here, I'll put a different pair in there. Nope, those don't have a cap either. There. And fit all the things in it. It's a good size tray. I mean, it's pretty deep. I like it. I like it a lot. But my daughter got me this Crabtree and Evelyn Hand Therapy collection for Christmas, and it's got like, I don't know, I'll be set on lotion for a while, but it's got all of these different varieties in it, and I like the avocado the best because some of them, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not a big like perfumey type person. I don't like perfumey smells. And so having anything that's too perfumey scented, like it bothers my head. I'm actually gonna scoot you guys back, I think, a little bit. Come to me. Here we go. There. We'll move you. Ooh, sorry. Geez, move you this way a little bit. There. Perfect. I want it to do that thing that it does where it bounces around a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. But the painting was far away from me to try and diamond paint. Um, so yeah, I'm working on this one. I actually need to reload my putty because I've been using this for a few squares now. Your hands get so dry. Yeah, mine too. I mean, and even putting lotion on, I could probably like legit lather up and just like let it soak in. I need some like cuticle oil. That's where I'm at right now. While it's, changing seasons. It's dark over here, doesn't it? My light on bright enough? Yeah, okay. I don't know what in the heck. I kind of have it a little far away too. Let's try that. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, with the changing seasons, it's hard because my hands do get very, very dry. And, if you're in the north or Midwest area, northern states, Canada, etc., like right now, especially this time of year, you really don't know what kind of weather you're going to get. There's not a lot of like humidity in the air, and it's not not great times for having soft, supple hands. But so I'm getting my excess off. There we go. Perfect. Okay. This pumpkin patchouli, I went looking to see if she had more of it, and it's like a fall scent, and so I'm assuming that's probably why I can't find any more. But I like this one a lot. Hope she makes it again at some point. But any hoozles, um, I've been I've been working on this one, and I had gotten this as a D stash from somebody, and the person who got this decided to go with crystals for the canvas. But the crystals, well, one, it's hard to tell the two colors apart because they are very, very similar. Like this is sort of a more white colored crystal. And then this one over here is kind of a yellowish sort of color. Hard to see that, obviously. Um, but the is that like I have some down here, you really can't tell the difference when they're in front of you. And because it's supposed to be on all of the like white parts of the painting, so if you can see, I'll scooch it down a little bit. Like in the tail of the jellyfish here, that makes sense to me. But then out here too, in the white parts there and in here, it calls for them. And so I'm making some executive decisions with regard to the crystals in here. And I'm actually deciding to do some different stuff. I've got some other fun round crystals because this is a round kit to play with. I think these ones will be a lot of fun. This dark cyan is what it's called. Let me scooch my light back over again so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. This dark cyan. I think that'll look kind of pretty on here. And then I've got these ones that I picked up at like a Hobby Lobby. I think those will be kind of fun crystal ABs. And then these are like, they say 550, but honestly, they don't look like 550s because they're more blues than purples. So, but they're crystal ABs. I think I could have some fun with those. We'll see. We will see. I'll play with some crystals here, but we're going to play with some crystals of different colors, I think. If I could find a good, like, pinky red color, I don't think I have. Let me cover this back up. I don't think I have any pinky red crystals, but I don't have a lot for round specials, so I can see if I have maybe, well, I guess this 3831 could work. It's kind of an orangey, but we could see. Beans? Sir, I don't think so. I don't think so, buddy. Here's a purple one, kind of a purpley 3740. That could be fun. That I have are pretty much just ABs. I don't have a lot of other crystals. But I wanted to stick, oh, well, here's kind of a more, it says purple quartz, but it's actually pink. I think it's too pink. I don't have any other pinks like this in here, I don't believe. Maybe this 316. Yeah, we can, we'll throw it out and see what comes of it. Why not? And then I have gold. I have some red, very red sparklers, twisted garnet. I think that's too red. I don't have any true red colors in here. Need something more pink. So, all right. We'll play with those. We'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Anywho, set those aside. How is everyone's Tuesday going? I was in a bit of a rush, so I had to go and vote. I got my vote done because we've got a pretty important vote here in the state of Wisconsin today. I have already texted my friends and family in the state, and I have told them that they need to go and do their civic duty today as well. Not going to get political, I promise, just talking about just going out to vote. I don't really do politics on the channel, you know that. But I did go do my civic duty, and it put me a little bit behind. So I was in a little bit of a rush getting back in here, making sure everything was set up and ready. I got a bird just made the weirdest noise. I got a trivia thing ready for you about weird holidays that I thought we could play around with. What's up, Faye? I was just talking about you. In a good way, I mean, not in a bad way. But I did get a holidays trivia started up for you guys so that when we are ready, we can talk about more weird holidays. Because in my mind, April Fool's Day is kind of a weird holiday. Now, most people don't celebrate per se April Fool's Day. I have played pranks on people on April Fools. I have not done the kind of low-hanging fruit for a lady person and convinced anyone I was pregnant when I wasn't, because that's just kind of a mean joke. No, I was just, hi Chrissy, hi Lily. I was talking about having these pens inside of my beautiful Pucky Pie Pours tray, but when you're able to make the ladder pen holder, then I'll be able to fit more in here that isn't just like the extra pens that I use. That's all I was talking about. Yeah, I haven't ever messed with the low-hanging fruit of like faking a pregnancy on April Fool's Day. That's not really my style anyway, to be honest with you. because I wouldn't find it a funny joke if one of my kids tried to pull it on me. One, because I'm actually kind of like excited to be a grandma when that happens. And two, like, who needs to be giving their parents heart attacks, honestly? But I did look up some trivia regarding other weird kind of holidays. I don't know whether April Fools is celebrated all over the world or if it's more to the States. If you guys have an All Fools Day or some sort of a pranky day, I'm sure it has to exist in some form or another in other countries, I would imagine. I would think that Americans aren't the only buttholes out there who like to play jokes on people. There are some things that I wish were jokes, but alas, it is not to be. Show you the pen holder thing I made myself as ooh, fancy. Excited to see what you came up with. Well, that'll be a fun little side gig for you, Faye, doing some 3D printing thingies. Um, if you do decide to start up a little small shop or something like that, and you let me know like what you want the name to be and whatever, I could always start you your own little section in the Discord so that if people had, requests or whatever, you make yourself a little side cash. Happy to do that for you. Whoa, throwing my, I found a whole bar of resin. Oop, I'm gonna go in the trash tray. It wants to live in the world on its own. There we go. Just let me know. But yeah, so I was looking up kind of other dumb holidays, weird holidays, whatever, and I did find some good ones. Um, and then while we're at it, yeah, I'll do trivia on it, but I thought, okay, while I'm at it, I'll look up some information about said weird holidays and we can learn some more about kind of the roots of those holidays, where they came from, why they exist. That could be kind of fun. Educational over here on House of Miscellanea. I celebrate today because today is opening day for being able to ride the side by side in town. Ooh, that sounds cool. That sounds really cool. After I make a few more designs. Well, cool. All right. Also, for the record, you can make yourself a really nice free logo, whatever you decide to name it, over on Canva. Totally free. I mean, granted, they have a paid version of Canva as well. Sorry, I'm moving this up a little. They have a paid version of Canva as well, but you can get anything pretty much that you need on the free version for making a logo for your company. So just keep that in mind too. Something to consider once you get that far. Let's go with the umbrella shape. I think. Yeah, here we go. So before I need to leave the house to go vote, I had Beans out on a quick little W because I knew he was going to need to go before I took off. And today he was just sandbagging so hard. He just did not want to come back to the house. Well, first it was we have a specific corner where sometimes I'll keep going forward to take a longer W. I'm saying W because he doesn't know what that means yet. You know what I'm saying. Uh, so he he tried to keep going straight, and I was like, no, 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 buddy, we're going this way. We turn, and then he's taking his time. Every pole, every bush, everything, taking his time, taking his time. Well, finally, we get over to the spot where he usually goes number 2, and I was like, "Hey, man, could you, like, speed it up a little bit because I need to get back to the house." I'm like, I'm in a hurry." I said out loud to him, "I'm in a hurry," and he lays down, like, lays down, gets comfortable, like, "Nah, mom, I'm not going." I was like, "You little booger." Took his sweet time getting back to the house. It was more of a leisure walk than it was, any sort of sense of urgency to it at all. It was like, "You're kind of a jerk for a dog, you know that? Love you, but you're a jerk." That's alright. It's not, like, beautiful outside by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's all of maybe 40 degrees, but, to a Great Pyrenees, he thinks it's beautiful. It's, like, perfect weather for him. Lay in the grass, enjoy the cool grass on his tummy. I don't know. He's a weirdo. He's definitely a weird dog. But what's everybody doing today? What are you guys working on? Have you, if you are participating in the fantasy DP along, just, working on a fantasy kit, is there anything in particular that you have chosen to diamond paint for April and May that is a fantasy kit? Not like an official event or anything, just a paint along. Word. Saw Great Pyrenees yesterday when I was picking my son up from school and immediately thought of me. Oh. Well, depending on where you are, it could even be related maybe. I know that some went out of state. Some of his brothers and sisters went out of state. There were 11 of them. So they had oop, nope, that one's got a little side nipple. No, go in the trash tray, please. Thank you. I know that there were a few of his brothers and sisters that went out of state, and they're not like papered. That doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care if a dog has got papers. I mean, I know the AKC cares about whether or not a dog has papers, but I don't. I do know that his parents are papered, but if I wanted to get him papered, there's extra charges on that. And it's like, if I was gonna, breed him or take him to shows or whatever, I guess I'd need to worry about that. But you don't really need to worry about that when it's just a house pet. Working on Fushimi Inari. Ooh, Eve, I like that one. Torii Gates are okay, so that specific one reminds me of the scene in Memoirs of a Geisha where she's running through the Torii gates before she stops at the temple and like makes a wish for the chairman. She makes a wish to see him again. That's what that one reminds me of. And Memoirs of a Geisha is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. Spirit of Flight. Ooh, from Diamond Art Club. Lily, I am very jealous. I'm very, very jealous. I do not have a Diamond Art Club gel wall. Some of them, I can see why they determined it was not a good fit with Diamond Art Club, not because they do a bad job with rendering per se, but because of the size really that you need them to be. I just don't think Diamond Art Club would have been able to accommodate the size, which is why she's better at a company like One with the Diamond Art or uh uh what is it, Diamond Painting Deutschland she's at. Um I think it's a better fit because they can go with the sizing. Um but I did enjoy the finishes that I've seen of Spirit of Flight, and that one is a really beautiful canvas. Gonna unbox Forest Dragon, The Encounter. Ooh, I like that one too. So I will be unboxing a new company on my channel. Um, Probably you're going to see that in the next few days. And that is coming up soon. Actually, there's going to be a couple of new companies you're going to see me unbox on my channel. And I'm really super excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely think of that scene. Memoirs of a Geisha is my favorite movie and movie soundtrack. Yes, 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 yes. The book is amazing too. I have a couple Daisy kits I want to finish first for Bring Your Blooms. Okay, then I'll start Fairy Lights by Ivy. Ooh, I like Fairy Lights too. I have that one. I really generally do enjoy Ivy Dolamore. I think it's the line art style that she uses, similar to Chrissa Bug in that way, where they both use like a line art style, and um I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's go with the upside down L. Where is that? Nope. Here it is. Go with this color. It's 761 and it's really lovely, kind of like peachy pink color. I like that. Not something that I would normally wear or what have you, but I do like it as a color. Pretty to look at. Forest Dragon, the encounter. That sounds fun. I do love dragons. Um, I love Amy Brown's dragon. And I think that they're just really fun and whimsical. I have it's Molly Harrison. It's the one that has the dragon and the fairy, and they're like sitting on the edge of a building. Really, really like that style of whimsical dragon. But I also really enjoy a very standard traditional uh Japanese or Chinese dragon, like Sake dragon. I have that one. I'm scared of all the confetti, but I'm really in love with the way that it's just very traditional dragon with the mustache sort of look to it, and how it only has like three toes or four toes depending on if it's Chinese or Japanese. Um Very much reminded me of the Emerald Dream area in World of Warcraft. Oh, okay. See, now I'm not, unfortunately, a World of Warcraft person. I have not played it, but I do have friends who play lots of World of Warcraft, and so I am familiar with the area. I am not familiar with it because I've played it, though. I get frustrated with games like MMORPGs because I get frustrated usually with the people that I'm playing with. Uh, Oftentimes, I will end up like being the beat stick, and then I will go in certain games like Diablo or Baldur's Gate or whatever, playing with somebody else, and I'll be beating the crap out of somebody over here, and then they're busy looting all the chests while I'm not, looking. I get very frustrated. Yeah, please share some screenshots. I'd love to see. Um, so they go loot the chests while I'm doing all the hard work, and I get real mad. Um, that person that I'm talking about is usually Dustin because we've played a lot of those types of games together. And then, yeah, he'll be playing some really sneaky, ranged weapon fighting like rogue or whatever, wizard. He'll play something with ranged attacks, and then I end up getting the short end after he has looted all the chests. Now I know World of Warcraft has kind of fixed that problem, right? Where people who like the chest opens for each person separately or whatever. I was asking Ducky about it because like I said, I haven't played, so I had told her that was my largest frustration with playing, and she explained that they have kind of fixed it. Literally play by myself or my best friend. Yeah, because it's also like, when you play a game like Grand Theft Auto online, and depending on where you are, what time it is, whatever, you may be dealing with uh, kids or adults in other countries who have nothing better to do than to just sit and play video games all day long. And then you end up like you're in the middle of trying to finish a mission or whatever, and then they're just trolling you just to troll you sort of situation. That gets frustrating. So, yeah, as far as playing, like, MMORPGs or first person shooters or anything like that, like, if I'm gonna play anything like that, I'm gonna play that by myself. I'm gonna take the MM out. It just takes a lot of time, especially if you raid. Yeah, don't have time for raiding. And I probably wouldn't take the time to raid. I know, like, right now, Ducky, she moderates for the YouTube. She hasn't been around because it's a new season or whatever, and she does a lot of the raiding parties, and they go do her loot stuff and whatever. She's helping other people to, because she's got, a really high level character or whatever. She's going through and helping other people get their loot updated and upgraded and whatever, but that's why she's not here most of the Tuesdays and Thursdays, because she's doing raiding parties, I guess. Hello, Deborah, captured by Radiance. Welcome, welcome. How is your Tuesday? Are you still working on taxes? Blah. Other people's, I believe, right? Gross. I don't like numbers enough to even be interested in wanting to do other people's taxes, much less my own. Very meh about the new season. Yeah. I like watching TTRPG replays on YouTube from Table Story, D&D and similar campaigns. Um, there was one that a friend of mine used to watch. It was like D&D campaigns, but the people who were not Harmon Quest, because I love Harmon Quest, but it was specifically a YouTube group where it was um professional voice actors or actresses that were playing D&D. Oh, darn it. I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel. Um I've seen a few episodes of like that. It's really funny. Though of the two, my preference is Harmon Quest because it is also animated, and I think you can watch that on Crunchyroll. Ray, you can see Harmon Quest on Crunchyroll, right? It's the only place you can watch it currently is Crunchyroll. And it is really funny. I mean, highly inappropriate, which is probably my favorite part about it. But Dan Harmon, who is the co-creator of Rick and Morty, and does, I think, voices on Rick and Morty too, right? Oh, that's Justin Roiland. Not anymore. But co-creator of Rick and Morty, and I believe he co-created um the other one, the what is it? Solar Opposites, didn't he co-create that? I don't know. You got me. But Dan Harmon, really, really, really funny guy. He and his then wife, I'm not sure if they're still married or not, a couple of other really, really famous comedians, like um, one that used to be on Whose Line Is It Anyway, is a constant on the show. And then they have like a rotating guest who is usually an actor or actress, comedian, what have you. So freaking funny. So funny. I've near wet my pants finishing that. And it's animated too. Like, just really, really good stuff. Needed to stop looking at numbers, makes me loopy. Oh, yeah, heck no. It's a type with incredible role players besides Table Story, which is on Discord when it's live. There's a Critical Role. That's the one. That's the one. I've seen a couple of those, but Harmon Quest was like specifically a recorded for, at one point it was on, I can't remember if it was Netflix or it was on a bigger streaming service at one point. Maybe it was Hulu or whatever. But my brother actually showed me some episodes at his house and I just fell in love. I could watch and rewatch it. There's, I think, 3 seasons total. I've actually not seen the third season. I need to watch it. I've seen the second season, parts of. I have not seen all of the second season, but we should sit down and watch it at some point. Okay. Well, he's back in state, so hi Jamie. But really, really funny stuff. Um need to go back and watch it again because it's good. It's good stuff. Very good stuff. Harmon Quest. And I'm an old school nerd myself, so like, old video games and role playing games, like I miss the 90s really hard because that's when I was playing a lot of like Werewolf the Apocalypse or Vampire the Masquerade. Played a lot of Vampire the Masquerade, but I was also a weird goth kid, so there's that. Um I played a lot of D&D. I've played a lot of uh called Chill, and then Chill eventually became Call of Cthulhu, and it's a horror-based game, role-playing game that was a lot of fun. My brother really indoctrinated me into a lot of the geek culture that I understood in the 90s. Um, and then, of course, the early 2000s, although I wasn't playing with him as much in the early 2000s as I was in the 90s when he was often our dungeon master for various games. And so, the geek culture upbringing that I received was from a brother who was 5 years older than me and his friends who were also 5 years older than me. And so I was, at 11 years old, I was role playing with 16 and 17-year-old guys. I was expected to behave like I was also more adult, and otherwise I wasn't allowed to play. And so I got a very early education in fantasy and geek culture, but uh, that's also how I became kind of introduced to and indoctrinated in tabletop games like Talisman, which is my favorite game, basically of all time. Love that game. Um, but we were playing things like Risk or more. I've never played what is it? It's a resource swapping game. Um can't think of the name of it. I haven't played that before, but I've also played like Dragon Warrior and like these really huge tabletop games um meant for strategy. And so I learned I learned a lot at a young age about strategy type games or role playing games, understood kind of critical thinking. My brother never went easy on me as far as if I made a mistake at 11 years old with regard to the party, then I was treated accordingly. Like I made a mistake and I put the whole party at risk or whatever. Um, and I think it really lent itself to teaching me a lot about strategy and even like wit and whimsy, and I'm really grateful for my nerd upbringing. You're the first nerd in the family. Oh man, that's rough. And then a lot of the like video game indoctrination I would have had much sooner, but we couldn't get my dad to get off of the Atari and later the Nintendo. I couldn't get my brother off of the 3DS, not the 3DS, the 3DO. It's a it was it predated the Sega CD, the 3DO, but I did play video games when I got a chance to, but often it was like I had to wait my turn, until there were systems more geared toward like everybody plays or whatever. Um, I didn't I didn't get an opportunity to play a lot of games otherwise. When I was able to get my own handheld system, like my first Game Boy or a Switch, like a Nintendo Switch or a 3DS or a DS, then I really, really got interested in video games. I have to say that, like, probably the Zelda series is far and away still my favorite. Uh, like, especially right now with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, my favorites, my absolute favorites. Uh, Prior to that was like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Uh, Really, really loved those. And I think probably because those were some of the first games that I was actually able to play, like I had time with the system to play it, because otherwise it was constant struggle to actually get my hands on the system long enough to play something unless we were playing multiplayer games like Nintendo 64. Even well that's because I've beaten those games and I've only played Tears of the Kingdom through one time. Breath of the Wild I've played through I think twice, but it's a to beat really. Can I tell them hours? Oh, so I my son brought me a Switch with my hours. So here are my here are my hours for the games that I've played. So Animal Crossing, at least on one with one profile, I've played 1,320 hours or more. Minecraft, 895 hours or more. Hogwarts Legacy, 120 hours or more. And I have a whole other profile for that too, which I've probably played about, I'd say like 30, 40 hours. Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, 370 hours. Breath of the Wild, 285 hours. Yeah, my Minecraft hours, 895. And that's just because I haven't played as much lately. But I put a lot of hours into games once, like I said, once I had an opportunity to play them on my own without having to fight somebody for a system. I think that's why I've always loved the Switch system so much because it's all me. Hi Tigger, be driving home. Right on. Right now, we're just talking about nerd stuff. I'm not actually quizzing anybody on anything on weird holidays yet. Figured I'd let people jump in and whatever. Um, but I think it was like the freedom of the Switch system and actually being able to sit down with the game on my own and not have somebody fighting me for it or whatever. It was important, like when the DS came out, that I get my own DS, that I get my own Switch when they came out. The kids had their own DSs, the kids had their own Switches because I they didn't have to fight anybody for a system. And then there's times where we'll come together and we'll play games together like Mario Kart, or we've played Animal Crossing together. I really cannot wait until they announce a new Animal Crossing. Like I'm so freaking ready for it. I mean, up to even thinking about like a new channel for Animal Crossing, whatever the new iteration of Animal Crossing is. Unfortunately, couldn't get into anything after WoW except Diablo. I'm trying to think of the game that Dustin and I used to play. It wasn't Baldur's Gate. The Baldur's Gate? No. There was a game that we played that could be single or multiplayer, similar to a Diablo style or Baldur's Gate, like top down fighter game. No, it wasn't a mobile game. It was one that we played on the Switch. Yep. It was one that we played on the Switch. Nope, not Fantasy Life. Think Baldur's Gate style game or Diablo style game. It Not Heroes of Might and Magic, but the one with the animals. Not Talisman. It's oh man, why can I not think of the name? Hero Quest? No. Maybe Divinity? Wait, let me see. Let me see the It wasn't I'm not thinking a PlayStation game though. I'm thinking a Switch game. You'd have to probably look on Dad's Switch. I'm not certain. Not Torchlight. No. Divinity. It was Divinity. Original Sin? I think so. Because we had that on the play at event. Maybe it was Divinity. I don't know. Got it from someone. Yeah, not sure. Maybe it was Divinity. I know I've played Divinity. But there was one earlier even than Divinity. When your dad gets here, just I'll have to remember to ask him because he'll know. He'll remember. But yeah, I liked having the ability to actually play a game without having to fight somebody for a system. And you know, there is a certain kind of uh gender bias, I feel like, for who gets what sorts of turns on what system and things like that. Or there was, not so much anymore. Like both of my kids got their own Switches because and DSs because, it I wanted them to be able to occupy themselves in a way that was more resourceful than just being stuck in front of a television necessarily. Like they played a lot of logic games, and we had these games. It was called brain games, I believe, and they would play that every day. It would, test your knowledge on things. It would play logic with you. Scribble Knots was another one where you had to use logic to get through the game. And yeah, they'd get frustrated and they'd need help occasionally, but for the most, maybe with spelling something, but for the most part, they were able to get through these games on their own and really use their imaginations to do it. Uh, they didn't they didn't play a lot of. Oh, so S for Animal Crossing. You know how whenever you would exit the game without saving, and the next time that you would open it up, it would have Resetti, and then Resetti would make you like literally repeat whatever Resetti had said in order to get the game open again. Well, Orion would all of the freaking time close the game or try and reset the game so that he didn't lose a certain, villager, or just reset so something didn't happen, make a mistake, whatever, and then constantly would be bringing us his DS like to write in whatever reset he said. And I'm like, this is so freaking annoying because even wherever like there were punctuations, you had to have it correct. Oh my goodness, that was the worst. That was pretty much the worst. My stepson got a Switch Lite for Christmas, which is YouTube. I mean, YouTube can be a double-edged sword, I feel like, because, my son watched a lot of really useless, stupid YouTube at times, and then at other times it was like finding YouTubers who were coding specific things on Minecraft, or other players who were playing Minecraft like Stampy, who weren't necessarily like. Stampy was kind of, at first, was not geared toward kids at all, and then started to clean up his act and really kind of geared his YouTube toward kids, so that well, at least something more family friendly. And then it was like a little more friendly, educational, what have you. Um it's like, on the one hand, I didn't want to censor everything that my kids could view or whatever on YouTube, but obviously there's some amount of oversight that has to happen. I'm not going to be a helicopter parent, but I'm definitely going to make sure that there's certain things that he's he was staying safe while watching or whatever. Um but yeah, YouTube, it's funny because there are certain things. I mean, now it's a little bit better because it'll say straight up like, is this geared toward kids? And then if it isn't and you've got filters on that they can't change, then you're pretty safe. I mean, as far as what they're going to be able to watch or whatever, but I'm sure there's still content that gets through. Oh, great. My son said there's still, characters from media with like huge boobs or whatever, and it'll still be labeled for kids. And I'm sure that if somebody was to report it as not for kids, eventually they'd get caught out, but that's unfortunate that they don't do anything about it. That's a bummer. Yeah, it's like navigating the world is a scary thing, and then thinking that kids are able to navigate a lot of it on their own is also very scary. But I tried really hard to instill in my kids the understanding of at least bodily safety, and understanding that you never ever share specific certain information. If you ever get a weird to me, it's probably best to follow that weird feeling and cut communication with somebody immediately. But unfortunately, it's sort of like the conversation about making playgrounds more safe and things like that, where you can make something too safe and then kids don't ever develop a sense of risk assessment. Like they just don't get the sense for it, and then they get duped or scammed more easily because they don't have good risk assessment values. And it's like kind of a six of one, half a dozen of the other sort of thing, you know? Thankfully, my son loves watching trail ride videos. Ooh, like on horses? That's kind of cool. Oop, where did that just go? This one? I think it was that. Yeah, it was that one. No, it wasn't. Oh, there it is. Had it fall off my pen and I didn't know where it went. I still haven't started trivia yet, y'all, but we're having a good conversation, so it's okay. I'm not too worried about it. There's a Nintendo Direct that's coming out. Is that today? Or yes, but the one that already came out was just like a regular Direct. It wasn't for the announcement of the Switch 2. I thought that was today. Quads. Oh, quads and side by side. Ah, waiting for the season to start. Okay, that makes sense. I've never been on a quad, but maybe once. Like, I don't even remember the situation how I ended up on a quad, but I know I had a blast. With a lot of freaking fun. It feels like a very north or like northern states, Midwest, or Canada thing for quads and ATVs and stuff like that. Definitely feels very um like specific places. Nothing wrong with that because I'm Midwesty. Like when we went up to the Northwoods and this guy was in a gas station and he was handing out, like he was putting in flyers about this um this specific like fundraiser or whatever, and it was a fundraiser selling guns in a church, no, in a bar, excuse me, selling guns, like raffling and selling guns in a bar for like fundraising for a school. And he even mentioned like only in Wisconsin can you fundraise selling guns in a bar for a school. Yeah. A little backwoodsy, but you know what can you do? Kings of Avalon. Kings of Avalon. That does sound familiar. I'll have to look that up. Let me write it down before I forget, though, because I will forget. Kings of Avalon. Where did my paper go? I'll use this. Kings of Avalon. Okay, there we go. I will check that out. It feels very familiar, but all of those words are also very familiar, so it could just be that. I don't know. I'm looking forward to new Mario Kart. I think new Mario Kart will be very cool. I think new Mario Party very cool. I haven't played Mario Party in a hot minute, nor Mario Kart for that matter, but I do love both games. I just don't really make the time to play them by myself. And I'm so freaking out of practice that I'd probably be trounced on by my family They don't they do not play let's play nice to the person who's just starting the game or just picking up the game after a long break. They will just slaughter you mercilessly. And then you got to get better. You just got to get better. Right. My son just said that's not how you learn. And it's true. It's not how you learn. Like we were never just kind to the kids and let them win because you don't learn that way. Like you just don't learn how to get better. Just a moment. Sorry, that was Dustin getting back. Wait, stop. No need to be barking. You never bark. Just be quiet. She's just happy to see you, yes. Okay, what was the game that we used to play on the Switch? Not Divinity, but it was a similar type top-down game. Not Diablo. Beans. Why do I feel like it was like Hero Quest or Hero?
On the Switch?
I believe so.
Are you talking about the DS?
Maybe it was the DS. No,
Fantasy Life?
not Fantasy Life. No, not Fantasy Life. It was like you would play a specific type of character, a fighter, a wizard, a whatever. And
Well, games?
no, it wasn't little mini games. It was we were actually going from land to land to land, and then you would have to follow kind of a certain path, but it was like split screen, but I couldn't get that far away from you and you couldn't because it would only get so big.
Yeah. Divinity
Did it have a different name?
and but it plays like Baldur's Gate. It's made by the same.
Maybe I don't. Maybe it was Divinity.
But it's not D&D.
No, no. Why do I feel like that's not right? I don't remember. I'd probably have to see it or play it, Divinity, in order to remember. Well, I think he wants you to take him somewhere, sir. He's ready to go. Did you vote yet? Yes, we went and voted already.
I don't find that on Switch.
I could swear it was on the Switch.
I have it on the Switch.
I know you do. I saw it.
Switch,
I saw it. And the reason I stopped playing it with you was because, you know, I'd be beat sticking something and then you'd go steal everything out of the chests.
Well, that's turn-based.
This was not turn-based. This was all
Talking about fantasy.
I'm not talking about Fantasy Life. It's not. No, I'm not.
The only one that we would sit
No.
play together.
This was in between playing Heroes of Might and Magic and then something else, but it wasn't Fantasy Life. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't Fantasy Life. No.
This is the only one I would go.
No, it had a name like Hero Quest or something like that. No, it wasn't a mobile game.
I've never played.
No, this was.
And then
I'll have to look. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome, welcome. Oh, Kings of Avalon is a mobile game. Okay. No, I don't remember what it was, but it's gonna drive me nuts until I figure it out. And maybe it was Divinity. Maybe it was Divinity that I'm thinking of, and I just, for whatever reason, thought it was a different game. I don't know. We did play a lot of Fantasy Life, but that's not the game that I'm thinking of. Am I missing any? No. This one is actually not this kit is not actually not that bad for I mean it's confetti-ish, but it's not horrible. Like it's not horrible, terrible, like you'd hate it forever, and it looks really nice.
That's what it looks
No, the one that I'm thinking of, you were closer in on the characters. You were much closer in on the characters. I do remember playing this game with your dad.
like. I also played.
But it's like the you would be
What are the
up
characters?
like a warrior, like a warrior, like a wizard,
human,
like
human, or
Mhm.
like
human. Like one person could go up this path, but another person could go down this path or whatever. And it was like you were looking at the characters almost like a platformer, but then it would like change camera angle on you. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research and figure out what the hell I'm talking about. I don't either. Don't worry, that makes two of us. Switch 2 tomorrow 9 a.m. Thank you. Trying to figure that out when the direct is, because I'd like to figure that out. I'm really, really, really hoping that they announce an Animal Crossing, and I don't think that they're gonna. And it makes me sad because I'd like them to. Laysai. Because it's like prior to now that they've, released a new Animal Crossing almost clockwork every 4 years. And then, of course, we had the pandemic and whatnot. Yes, they put out like a downloadable content for the Animal Crossing New Horizons, but that's not the same. I mean, yeah, it did open up a whole new like a whole new experience with Animal Crossing, but the it wasn't the quality of life updates that I think we thought we were going to get. And I'm really hoping that when they do come out with a new Animal Crossing that they will actually have those quality of life updates, but we'll see. I mean, and there are people who are just now, even still, discovering Animal Crossing New Horizons for the first time. There's new players to the game. And so, I mean, they could, I guess, continue to ride high on the popularity for New Horizons that they still have, but like, dang it. What about the rest of us who have done what we want to do on our islands or with our museums or whatever? I mean, am I a little salty that I have not fully completed my museum? Yeah, a little bit. Shut your face, Dustin. Nobody asked you what your
Yeah.
island was like.
I got the Brewster.
I have a Brewster dryroid. I've got my Brewster. I did all the other things. I'm short a mahi mahi, I think, and a golden stag beetle.
Yeah, that's right. You left that island. Instead of grinding it out. Had one set up.
Yeah, this was back before they updated, and then you no longer could do the grind for the beetles
Oh,
or
you
the
still
grind
can.
for the scorpions.
Well,
And
you still can.
no, you can't. They fixed that.
Yes, you can. You can still wipe an island clean. They just don't spawn at the rate at which you did. Same with the peacock
There's
butterflies. Like at the
no
beginning.
point in doing that. There are people who have I watch a lot of YouTube videos
do it.
about, okay, Dustin, whatever you say, considering you have opened that game in probably 8 months, you still do it.
Yeah.
They fixed that.
They didn't.
Yes, they did. They fixed the spawn rate of that, and they
That's
fixed it
exactly
so that
what I
does
just
not
said. That
happen.
doesn't mean that you can't sit there and grind and still get them to spawn.
Well,
It just won't be.
you're just
beneficial in the
wasting your
sense-
time
to
with
get the-
cutting
to
down
get the
trees.
beetles.
We love each other. I don't know if you guys knew
It gets
this,
you the
but
beetles,
we
but
love
you
each
can't
other.
Make millions off of
We're in
one
love.
sheep.
See? Being done with the conversation. I am done with this conversation. Help him out. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he's leaving you, Beans. You better catch him. You better catch him.
He's gonna-
Nah, he doesn't want to stay. Goofy dog. That goofy dog. I was gonna do like weird holiday trivia, and then I got sidetracked talking about like Harmon Quest and video games and like nerd stuff, and then I forgot about doing a quiz about weird holidays. So this is where we are now. This is where we live. Meh. Anyways, um, are you just driving around or what? You gonna take him for an actual W? You're damp. Don't. Do not. I'll change the locks on the house. You won't come back in. They'll be live out in the backyard. Trying to decide what one to do next. Got too many like one off or two off ones. Here we go. So it's weird. This pi symbol right here, I think it's a pi symbol. It really looks like a K when it's next to other Ks. Like if you're just glancing quick at it and it's two of the same ish color. And so that has thrown me off. It's the only thing I don't like about specific symbols being used in kits. It can get really samey, and then you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't like it when companies use the arrows, but then they like arrow this way, arrow this way, arrow this way, arrow this way. It's like all the directions. Why do they do that? I mean, I understand like the alphabet because English language, I feel like the English alphabet, the whatever, you know what I mean? The alphabet in other countries probably looks foreign to them as wingdings do to us. But like, when you start stacking things with symbols that look very similar, I get butt lost, totally butt lost. Want to play Tales of Graces. Ooh, what's that? Tell me more, tell me more. What's Tales of Graces? Oop, missed one. I don't see much sense in trying to pour out a bunch for a couple of one-off symbols, Does not make any much sense. Where'd it go? There was another one. There it is. Question mark, question mark. There we go. Let's do this. A few of these. And then a Y that isn't a Y. A Y with the weird lines in it. That one. A Y with weird lines. Are you waiting for something? Trying to figure out what the game is that I'm talking about? Yeah? Nothing? No luck?
Fantasy Life.
It's not Fantasy Life though. It isn't. I promise. It's not. Yeah, maybe show me a video, but I don't think it's Fantasy Life. I mean, I remember playing Fantasy Life with you, but I don't know. I don't know why I feel like it was named something like Hero Quest or Quest. something. Hero something. Not Heroes of Might and Magic. And I spin my canvas. Yeah, oh gosh. I don't like that. Combining memories. I don't know. I feel like I would know this game if I saw this game.
It didn't patch. It just slowed the spawn.
I didn't say that they patched out beetle farming. I said that they lowered the spawn rate. I said
Anyway.
I
Because the thing with beetles.
I'm
in order
done
for them-
arguing with
the
you
thing
about
with
that. Will you
beetles, in
please
order for
help
them
me
to
figure out
spawn,
what game I'm thinking of, please?
you have to
Please help me
catch-
figure that out. Because I'm not
get
going
a
to
golden
argue with
beetle, have
you
to catch a golden
about,
beetle.
right? But it doesn't, there's not much point to trying to do it that way.
Only
No, it's not the only way, but
the other. Crossbow.
it wouldn't be quicker to jump from one side to the other of your island using a pipe.
You could do it that way, but having a smaller island is a circle.
Something with, I don't know. I wish I could remember the name of that game. It was a game where like the title when you'd open the game, the title would have like the 4 main style of characters that you could play, okay? Behind the name of the game. There'd be like a blonde warrior looking dude. There would be a wizard looking dude. A red-headed female, maybe cleric? Question mark. And when we would play it, you could even include two other players. It's not that though. He showed me a video of Divinity, and it's not Divinity. It's not that. No, it's not that. It isn't that. No, it's something. I wish I could remember, but it's not that. Let me see. I've made something up in my head, probably. Who knows? Maybe it's a game I've completely made this game up. It exists only in my brain. Oh, what? No, it's not that. It's definitely not. No. It's not that one. When I have time after the live, I'll do some looking around. I remember it being a multiplayer game. I think it was for the Switch, maybe it was for the Wii. I don't think it was Xbox. It wasn't, I don't believe it was a PC because we had controllers. I don't know. But I don't remember us sitting and looking at a computer screen. I mean, maybe we did. That's true. That is true. That is true. Maybe if you look at your Steam games and see what you have in Steam. No, that doesn't work like that. Neverwinter? No. I've played Neverwinter though. Octopath Tracker? No, that doesn't sound right. Travel in a group with other kids. In an alien girl named Sophie. It has themes of friendship and acceptance. Oh, that's cute. Tales of Graces. Okay. We'll look into that. Defenders. No, not Defenders. It's gonna drive me legit nuts until I figure out what this game is. Oh man, it does it. I remember there being a blonde warrior with like plate armor, but his shoulders are bare, long blonde hair behind the like title of the game. And then I feel like there was like a redheaded, big boobied, like maybe rogue, maybe something. There was really only so many like characters that you could choose. I know that you and I think Joe maybe or Chris have played this game together. And the reason that I stopped liking to play this game, one, is because you would always be in a position where you would be at this end of the screen and I would be at this end of the screen. We're trying to go two opposite ways. It only gets so big. It wasn't Divinity. Because I would remember that I
That one's
right. This was not a this was a split screen, but no, maybe it wasn't a split screen.
It was like that.
This is one that like
It's like that
Dan
shared
told us to
screen
play.
That you can do this sort of thing.
I don't think it was that.
You can get with closer it merges.
Yeah, that's like Diablo style
Yeah.
stuff, not that. It wasn't Diablo. But it was a game that I think Dan maybe introduced us to or something. And we played it a lot. Whatever it was, we played it a lot. And I feel like it was probably either very early days of here or late days of living in the trailer. Then it wasn't Steam. Then it was something that we played, I think. I don't know. I would have to, and like I said, I feel like it has a name like Hero Quest or Heroes something or Quest something. But there's so many things with that name that it's like, eh. Clash of Heroes? Hold on. Clash of Heroes. Well, Might and Magic is that's like a no. It wasn't like anime looking. It was like realistic-y looking. It was a multiplayer game with warrior, wizard, rogue. Ah! It erased everything I just wrote. Video game multiplayer heroes, warrior, rogue, wizard, played on single screen. What's it called when it's not turn-based? No, it was not turn-based. We would all go and bash the crap out of stuff. You would be off like throwing arrows, and I would be literally swinging at things. And I feel like it was a Switch, but I don't know that it was for sure a Switch game. Heroes of Hammerwatch, no. Quest of Dungeons? I have like rerouted the entire. Nope, it wasn't Quest of Dungeons. Not Heroes of Hammerwatch. Not Pocket Rogues. Not Stolen Realm. Nothing. Man, could drive me nuts. Oh well. Guess I'm never gonna know. Someday. Someday. Now it's driving us all crazy. Yeah, honestly. Like I said, maybe I made this up in my head. My early 20s, there was a lot of drug use, y'all. Shut up, bird. Don't laugh at me, bird. My bird just laughed at me. Okay, but I wasn't like high all the time. Okay, I really wasn't. Um Dang it. Dang it, dang it.
Yes.
Well, right, but this wasn't a DS game. This was not a DS game. This was something that we played on a screen, like on a big screen that we could all see. And the reason that I hated it, like I said, was because like you would go and get the chests or whatever. It was something I feel like Chris introduced us to this game. Well, I can't ask Chris because right now I'm on a live, but I can try to ask Chris later on. I'll text him and say, "Hey Chris, what is this game that I'm trying to remember?" It was not Fantasy Life. It did not look like that. It looked more like Divinity in the way that it was realistic like that.
Talking about like the
Maybe it was the original Baldur's Gate. What did the original Baldur's Gate look like? Could have been that. What did that look like? Show me, show me, show me. I get down to these like random ones and then I can't see them. Okay.
or the
Never.
that was it's also the
I don't
same.
think it was Neverwinter.
So the,
I don't think it was Neverwinter because
they're all top down.
what does original Baldur's Gate look like? Show me that. No. No. Not that. Man. I'll tell you what. When I figure out what it is, I will let everybody know. I will shout it from the rooftops. I'll be like, "Look, I found it." But my friend Chris is going to be like, hopefully helpful with this because he's got a way better memory for stuff like that than I do. But I feel like it was one that he introduced us to. I'm not certain on that, but this was something that you and I played when we weren't playing Heroes of Might and Magic. We were playing that. Let's see. There's all these random ones that I can't see on here. They're like all over scattered. Okay, wait. Trying to find them. This one. There we go. A question mark. There we go. I need a triangle. There we go. Ooh, I need a few of these ones. There we go. Wow, Bowie. You are extra. Anyway, all of that. It was a fun game to play together, except for when people would go and steal what was in the chest first, and I would get whatever scraps were left over. Dustin's here looking at his phone trying to figure it out. I don't know if it was PlayStation 3. Dragon Age? Was it Dragon Age? Hold on, let me look at a Dragon. Oh, Dragon Age. No, it wasn't Dragon Age. Let me look at Dragon Age Origins, maybe. No, I would have remembered that screen. Man. It was not Skyrim. Rogue Heroes. No. That doesn't sound right. It wasn't Kingdom Hearts. Maybe it was a PlayStation game.
Oh,
Portal Knights. Portal Knights? Portal Knights? No. That was like a me looking. It wasn't Warhammer. No. Yeah, I can't find it. Man. Oh well. Eventually, hey, look, done with work. Hey, what's up, Sarah? Eventually, I will figure out what it is. It'll hit me in the middle of the night. I'll be laying in bed and I'll be like, oh my God, I remember what it is. I'll come wake you up. What's that? Right. Abruptly forget by morning. I'll write it down. I will write it down and try to remember. I'm almost done with the square though. Okay. Let's see. Where is the arrow?
oh wait.
Well, she's thinking you're waiting, I don't know, for her maybe? I don't know what she thinks over there. So go knock that off, please. Boom. All right. There we go. I think that was the last one. Make sure there's not any randos in here. I don't think so. Yay! Look at us finishing a square. Looking pretty good. What did you battle? That's a good question. I feel like you would battle like bosses, yes, like a boss would be maybe like a great necromancer or whatever. There were flying things that you would fight that would come flying down out of the sky. For the terrain being like some parts of it were like rocky terrain and some parts of it like one person could take a path up this way and one person could take a path down that way. But if this person in the front, I feel like it would give you a loading screen if somebody got too far ahead where it would bring bring the party all back together. And like oftentimes when we would play, Dustin, you would be in first position. So if everybody wasn't up your butt, then it would get and we would all pop back up where you were at or whatever. And you would think it was hilarious to get ahead of the group and essentially just smash all the chests, whatever, and get all the stuff out of the chests. And then you would be responsible for divvying up the loot at the end of whatever the fight or whatever was. Not Little Big Planet. I would remember Sackboys. I like Little Big Planet a lot, but it wasn't that. This is part of why we stopped playing it was because I was getting ready to like off you in your sleep for stealing all the loot all the time. Move some stuff out the way here. Gotta move some
You
stuff
get
out the
boots
way.
that are-
What about gastric magic? What?
You get boots that you magic caster.
Sure. There is that question. And why would a magic caster need boots that they couldn't use? Yeah. Throwing stuff. Okay. All right. I think I'm just going to move up to this square, even though it's completely backwards from what I would usually work on, just so that I got to move everything out of the way. It was Fantasy Life. I don't think it was Fantasy Life. Morbid? It wasn't Final Fantasy. Morbid. I don't know what morbid is. Let's find out. Morbid. Yeah, okay. No. Not that one. Mm, I'm trying to think of how to like search it. Multiplayer video games. Warrior. Wizard. Top down. Of Legend. Shrine 4. Let's try this list of. Path of Exile. What is that? Path of Exile. Look at that one. Was not Path of Exile. I'm done. Monster Hunter World. No, it wasn't Monster Hunter. Guild Wars? Was it Guild Wars? Maybe it was Guild Wars. No. No, it wasn't Guild Wars. Not EverQuest. Gauntlet? Was it Gauntlet? I think it was Gauntlet. Hold on a minute. Gauntlet video game. Was it PS2? No, not PS2. Hold on a minute. Dungeon Brawler. Oh, show me, show me, show me, show me. Maybe it was Gauntlet. It was Gauntlet Legends. Dang it. I did it. Text your father. I've done it. It was Gauntlet Legends. That was frustrating. Oh my god. It was Gauntlet Legends. Okay. Gauntlet Legends. And there is a picture of 4 different types of characters. One is a blonde warrior. One is like this weird necromancer Egypt guy. One's like a Valkyrie. One is a lady. It's Gauntlet Legends. That's what it is. God, that was dry. It was on the Nintendo. Gauntlet Legends. Well, they had a Switch version too, but they had N64 and Switch, and the one that we played on Switch was the one that I am thinking of, was Gauntlet Legends. Tell your dad Gauntlet Legends, he's gonna remember what I'm talking about. Yes, there I go. I remembered it. Yay! Oh my god, that was terrible. Oh, it was like having an itch that you can't, like in the middle of your shoulder blades that you can't actually reach to scratch. That's what that was like. God, that was bothering me. Ugh. He was making me think I was making that game up. Like I full on created a game in my head. I made it all up. It wasn't real. It was fake the whole time. Oh my lord. That gave me aneurysms, I think. But I feel better having figured it out what it is because lord. Yeah. Woo! Oh my god, that was driving me nuts. Okay. What am I doing here? I'm going to go down one, I think. Trying to figure out where to put this paper for the moment. There we go. What do we got left? And I think I can do a little diamond painting in that time. This down for a second while I cut this plastic. So weird to go this. Ooh, man. I don't like it. I want a whole different direction. It's weird. It's weirding me out. Okay. We'll start over here to be fine. Wow. Yeah, that was like probably the worst case of I know I didn't make this up, but I can't remember what it is game I've played in a really long time. It's hard though because like Gauntlet Legends came out, let's see. That was Gauntlet Legends release date was originally in 98 and then they like fixed it up for the it was on N64 and then they re-released it or whatever for the Switch in like 2000. So maybe not 2000 for the Switch, but let's see, Gauntlet Legends remake. I don't know. But what I remember is it was PlayStation 4 we played it on. Regardless, whatever system we played it on. This game was like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Probably not quite that, but like 15 easily, you know, whatever. And so when you're trying to think of a game you haven't played in 15 years that you played 15 years ago, oh my god, that was frustrating. Because we did play it a lot, a whole lot. I don't know whatever happened to it as far as like if it's in somebody's game case somewhere or if it was something that we borrowed and gave like my older brother or my friend Chris. I don't know. But that was frustrating because I know I wasn't making it up and they were trying to insist on games that were much newer than that. I'm just glad I figured it out because holy crap. Like I said, I probably would have sat up out of a dead ass sleep and been like, Gauntlet Legends. Oh my gosh. probably not that great anymore. Why we were trying to find it. I just needed to know, man. I just needed to know. And it wasn't like a bad game. I had a lot of fun on it, but it was broken in the sense that, like, you know how they fix these sorts of things nowadays where you play a multiplayer game with somebody, and used to be that one person would go running ahead for all of the chests or all of the loot or all of the whatever, and everybody else behind them would just get whatever they decided that they didn't want or didn't need or didn't fit their character. Like, that sucks. I hate playing games like that. And unfortunately, I love Dustin, but he is that kind of a bastard who would run ahead of the party and grab up all the loot. And he would play these characters that, like I said, they would be ranged characters where the point of them was not to be in the front. So they would essentially, he would skirt the battle in whatever way he would skirt the battle so that he didn't have to fight stuff. And then he'd go loot the chests before, we beat the whatever it was. And he knows it too. Like, he can't even argue with me about that fact. That's fact that he would do that crap. And so it was like, "No, I don't want to play these games with you anymore." Although one that he and I still do enjoy playing is a PC game, Heroes of Might and Magic. We really do like playing that particular type of game. Like, we have a truce before we actually start playing, where, like, we'll fight against the computer characters that are near us first, build up our armies and whatever, and then kind of culminate in this big battle at the end between the two of us. Like, we beat all of the other computer characters first. I have family in Milwaukee and Green Bay. What part of Wisconsin? Carolyn, I am in the south central part of Wisconsin. Like, if this is Wisconsin right here, I'm like, and this is the state line and Illinois is below it. I'm like right there. I'm like boop right there in the middle south. Um if you're coming into Wisconsin, okay, so you have, when you get into Wisconsin, there's like 43 takes you over to 90, 94 this way, and then 39 goes 90 north. You would take 90 going into Wisconsin instead of 94 going into Wisconsin over here on the interstate. If you take 90 through Wisconsin, you actually drive directly through my town because the interstate goes straight through the middle of the city that I live in. And I've lived in Wisconsin for, well, since 1987. I lived in Madison and then I moved to the city that I live in now after my mom remarried. I miss Madison quite a bit. Like, that's kind of home for me. Like, I get homesick feelings even though I haven't lived there forever and ever, but that's like that's where I did all my real good growing up. All my teen years, getting into trouble and stuff, that was all in Madison. I don't do too much in Milwaukee. Went to rehab in Economowalk, which is just outside of Milwaukee. Um, and then I drive past slash through Green Bay to go to Door County when we go on vacation, but I don't do too much in that area. Takes me about like an hour and 15 to get to Milwaukee from here. We do hang out a lot, like, um, if you know where, like, if you've visited much in the Milwaukee Green Bay area, if you know where um the well, we go through to Lions Den Gorge, which is like Port Washington, kind of in that area. We do a lot of like just driving up there for hanging out by slash in the lake. I love that. I love that particular area of the lake. It's really beautiful. It's really clean. And Door County is like some of the most beautiful area that Wisconsin has. Our Lake Superior side is also really beautiful up there, but I do like that part of Lake Michigan. Now, granted, Green Bay is not necessarily like the cleanest area of Lake Michigan, but that's not really totally their fault. Oh, I found a AB in here. Sounds like the scenic route. Yeah, we do like to do a lot of scenic route driving anyways. We've got a lot of like scenic highways in Wisconsin, which are actually like on purpose. You take the scenic route. Um, there's a lot of that in Wisconsin. Rural type. I don't like to take interstate if I don't have to, mostly because we like to actually like see the state of Wisconsin instead of just seeing the interstate. I mean, yeah, you're still seeing the state of Wisconsin, but it's not nearly as pretty as, hopping on a highway and viewing it like that. Because then you miss places like Wildcat Mountain or Rib Mountain. If you're just staying on the interstate everywhere, you miss places like Baraboo or Devil's Lake. You miss Hayward or Mellon, Mellon, not like watermelon. There's a lot of really beautiful places in Wisconsin. And then places like Spring Green or Dodgeville. You can get to Dodgeville and Spring Green via like a freeway, but not like a main major interstate necessarily. But that's where our high desert is in Wisconsin, is Spring Green area, because Wisconsin has a desert, which is a weird thing to note. Wisconsin has a desert. And like I said, I really do enjoy the state that I live in. I think it's beautiful here. I don't always love the politics where I live because we're really purple. Uh, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We end up being one of the swing states in elections. I don't love that. It's nerve wracking, but I do love the people. Generally, the people here are very friendly and nice. And if you were stranded on the side of the road, somebody's going to stop and help you. Like, you're not going to be stranded for very long. I do like that. But the rest of it, meh. Politics only matter when they matter, and generally the people are very friendly. And the cheese is good if you like cheese. Grew up in Phoenix, Arizona since I was 1 year old. Oh, okay. Never got a chance to live in Wisconsin, but spent a lot of time at Shawano Lake. Oh, Shawano Lake is beautiful too. Um, so we actually, you know how like Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes or whatever. Um, technically, okay, here's what's weird. We have more places that are named lakes in Wisconsin, but when you go over the size of those lakes in Wisconsin, we don't have as many that are as Minnesota's, but we have more things that are named lakes here in Wisconsin. We think we have more lakes than any other state because we named them lakes. That doesn't mean that they're actually lakes. They're kind of small for lakes, but we're just trying to steal somebody else's thing that they're known for. We're like, no, we have more lakes. No, they're just named lakes. That doesn't mean that they're actually lakes. They don't have as much water in them. I have never been to Arizona. Would love to go see like an actual real desert. I would love to see a real desert. I've seen the high desert in California, but and then here in Wisconsin, our high desert, which doesn't look like a regular high desert either. Um, I would love to see like the Sahara. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see like a real desert. I want to see our desert. I want to see desert plants and cactuses and things of that nature, not just like high desert plants, grasses. What is our desert called? I forget. Words. But yeah, would love to see like the Grand Canyon, would love to see um the what are they? The stoves? The stacks? Utah. I'd love to go to Utah. Also, would love to see the Grand Canyon, would love to see a lot of things that I've never seen before. Would love to travel. And maybe at some point we'll end up, you know, renting a a bus or renting a fifth wheel or renting an RV or something and like go see more of the United States. That sounds like a good time. Just go see the land that I live in. Because as much as I'd also like to go abroad, there are so many places here in the States that I haven't been. And go see some of that, you know? Eventually I'll get somewhere, maybe. And then again, maybe I won't. But all right. I'm so glad I figured out that game, you guys. That was driving me insane. Really driving me nuts. Um, for those who are interested, after the live, I will be heading over to Discord where we will have Discord after dark. And while no, it is not yet quite dark, it will be soon. We'll be hanging out in the Discord. Oh, let's see. What is it? 6 o'clock. I'll probably jump into Discord after dark fairly shortly after the live. I usually, get myself maybe something to snack on, the restroom before I jump in there. But if you would like to join us in Discord, you are welcome to do so. It's totally free. Let me get a link to Discord just so that if you do not have access yet to the Discord, that you could join if you wanted to. There's that. If you want to join us over in Discord, that's where we'll be. Otherwise, I will be back on Thursday night. I go live on Twitch. I will be back here again on Saturday night. And then live again next week, Tuesday, if that's the best time for you during the day to visit one of the lives. Otherwise, I will have a whip and chat out tomorrow that you can watch. Very shortly here, I will have a couple of unboxings from some new to me shops / new shops. So I hope that you will check those out as well. And then in the worky works, I had to get my new arm for holding up my camera. It busted, my old one busted. I will be doing a new and updated stash video very soon. I'm excited about that. I can't wait. But like I said, I hope that you will join us in one of the places. If not in Discord, then again, maybe next week on the live. Otherwise, you guys, it is about that time. I will, like I said, hopefully see you over in Discord. If not, hit that subscribe button and then you will be alerted when I have some new videos up for you. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to cover this up and get myself all snacked up, bathroomed up, and I will see you in Discord very shortly. But as ever, you guys, I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world of ours, that you are having a phenomenal evening or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. All right, you guys, I'm going to see you again real soon, okay? See you over in Discord. Bye bye. Later.